Fresno State is obviously going to test your secondary. What's the game plan this week?
Yeah, no, that's the word. The ball's going to be in the air. It's as quality of opponent from a passing game standpoint as I've seen in a while, through multiple conferences and non-conference games. They immediately kind of jump off the video in terms of ability to move the ball, and then the efficiency in the run game. So it's not as simple as just saying, okay, just defend the pass, and then a quarterback that can not only make the throw but extend plays and put it on the money. We say he kind of scrambles to throw, not scrambles to run, but he can also run. So, no, this is a real one, and there's no question that they have our attention.
You guys have 8 takeaways through 2 weeks. Obviously, that's a pretty significant rate. When you're talking about those, obviously you talked about the importance of turnovers, but do you discuss that with the team as if it's not sustainable, or?
Yeah, we take the approach. The ball has no idea it's supposed to go from the quarterback to the receiver, right? And so, too often we kind of act like we know that. Like the expectation is the quarterback throws to the receiver, he catches it, and he runs with it, and that's just how football is. And that obviously is not the case. There's never 100% completion percentage, and so. We decide to take the approach that and that's why we say takeaway, not turnover, is that we cause them. We cause them by effort. The good thing is, as you look at, and don't quote me, I guess you will, but through the 8 of them is you see the brand of football that we're trying to play on just about every one of them. Guys straining, it could be a timing issue. A quarterback throws a little bit sooner than it's not. You don't see it at the catch point. You see it when you rewind the film. Throw it a little bit early. A receiver not expecting it so soon. A guy straining the football to get a hand on it, or one guy getting a hand on it, the other guy getting 2 hands on it. And so that's the biggest message in those. Because if you don't do those things, you don't come down with a tip pass. If Tula doesn't strain to the sideline, just says, the DB will go make the play, he doesn't cause the fumble on the side. And then, the messaging too, they're not in till they're in. In terms of, the world says, well, obviously they should have scored. Well, it turns out football has another ideas in that they have to put it. You don't get points for putting the ball in the paint in basketball. You got to put it in the basket. It's the same thing. So just keep playing, keep fighting, keep swinging. And so the messaging is 100% we control it, 100% of the time, and we don't let truth get in the way.
So you feel like you could sustain that rate?
You tell me why we can't. But that's just how you got to think that way. You're not a passive member of the game of football. You're an active member, and so we choose to have that approach that it's controllable. We got to go get them.
Solomon Bird had a big game for you. What went into deciding how he and Corey kind of split those reps?
Yeah, they earn it on the practice field, and then throughout the course of the game, you're constantly evaluating kind of in the moment. It could be a situation a guy gets hot and making some plays. You kind of go back to him. It could be a situation in terms of what the offense gives you. But the bulk of that is how guys practice. You earn reps on the practice field. Solomon has. And you don't know that, for some of these guys, especially, well, really all these guys, as you go through the first couple of weeks, this is our first game days with them, and the first couple of game days with them, first road game with them, how are guys going to respond to those moments. And so I was thrilled for Solomon. Had a major impact, had a couple sacks for us, and he'll have an impact this week as well.
So what's the need for him going forward?
Yeah, similar. I mean, they'll have every opportunity to be a starter here, and so goes it for everybody else. We'll make decisions on Thursday, kind of how the rotations will go on that. But we was pleased with him up until this point.
Can you talk about dealing with unscripted looks like that slow mesh that you got and kind of in game in real time? How you had to work that out?
Yeah, I think you can't ever be surprised by what an opponent does from the standpoint: are we going to trust our rules? Are we going to run our defense? Is everything we do completely predicated on what the opponent does? And what we try to say is, and obviously they get a vote. I mean, is the 2 backs in the backfield versus empty? That changes some things. But on the same note, what we don't do is say, well, let's scrap everything. They're running this. Let's start drawing stuff up in the dirt and try to defend it. I give them a lot of credit, and we said it last week. I have a lot of respect for that staff. Coach Shaw does a tremendous job. And there's always something. Now, is the team going to major in that newness? There's always a play within a drive, or maybe a personnel grouping that you haven't prepared for. That's the norm. Do you get, again, does the opponent major in it? You may not, anticipate that, but you got to adjust, and no excuses, no explanations. You got to run the defense, and in those moments, you strain and find a way to get a stop, and At times we did, and at times certainly we didn't. So wasn't we didn't walk off the field and say great performance defensively. Found a way to find up on the right side outcome-wise. But no, they gave us fits, and we still got a lot of work to do.
Where do you feel like you guys are in terms of like progression at this point? Do you feel like you're on schedule this unit at this point?
Yeah, I think it's a 1 week evaluation. You got to stay there, especially in the first year. It's where we're at after game 1, and then you attack the work week going into game 2 based on the opponent that you're playing. It's where we find ourselves going into game 3. And I've caught myself, talking to Coach Riley in particular, almost saying, okay, to our standard. Well, what is our standard? We're trying to establish that, and the brand of USC, determines, by and large what that standard is, and it's a lot higher than what we've done so far. So you attack that. You say the bar is higher than where we've gotten ourselves to defensively, whether it's statistically or pretty much by any measure, whether it's points, yards, we got to be better, and so we know that, and so we attack the work week with that in mind, and as we try to establish what that standard is for us. But no, we got 2 outcomes up until this point, and we got to fight like all heck to try to get a third one, and do it week in and week out.
In what ways do you feel like the run defense needs to improve?
Well, the explosive plays. I mean, a couple of them. It's a reverse. The first week it's a power. Guys from a fit standpoint. You look at it and is it a mental error? Is it a missed assignment? Is it a combination thereof? Is it miscommunication? And what all those things are is that, one, they're excuses if you allow them to be. And they're symptoms of what bad defenses do. There's a missed assignment as if it's okay. It's just one. No, it happens. It creates points offensively, and we got to be cleaner than that. And do we have a willingness to? First off, it's coaching. Are we doing a good job of putting them in a position that they can be successful? If we can check that box, which I believe we can we fix it with just better effort? And if that fixes it, can correct the issue, then let's stop the evaluation. And beyond that, is it something that we're making decisions in real time as an athlete to not do what I'm coached to do? Then you got to press the pause button and say, okay, where's the conflict coming from? Are we seeing those things during the course of the week? Are we applying those same things on Saturday? Are we doing something different on Saturday than we did on Tuesday? And why would that be? That's it's unacceptable. It's not good enough. We know that, and it's something that we continue to evaluate, and it leads to points, which in the end puts us in a situation where the offense got to score more. And we're not fans. We can't be in a position where we'll be fine as long as the offense scores. And so we got to be better, much better in the run game and in the pass game. So long story, but same answer. We get a whole lot better.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.